Hey guys, back again. So let's talk about Godzilla versus Kong. I almost said King Kong versus Godzilla, which was the original Japanese one from 1962. This one isn't called King Kong. It's just Kong because he's not king yet. So that's why it's just called Godzilla versus Kong. But it is the newest film in the fourth release of this new monster verse, starting from Godzilla from 2014, Kong Skull Island, and Godzilla King of the Monsters. And this is the fourth one in the franchise for this new iteration. So this one was interesting because I'm not a big Godzilla fan. I've not seen. It's weird with all the movies I've seen. I've never seen any of the Japanese Godzilla movies, like at all. I've seen all the American ones, and I really don't like any of them that much. So I really should watch the Japanese ones. I'm not a giant fan of this franchise so far. It's not like I've gone in and watched all the movies, so I don't know much about the Godzilla films. Besides the American ones, like I said, the 1998 one was really bad. Roland Emmerich, I can't stand Roland Emmerich movies. The 2014 one was boring. Godzilla King of the Monsters was a tad bit better, but it was still really just forgettable and uninteresting. It had some cool visuals, but Godzilla is not a franchise that I've seen much of. I will rectify that in the future, but right now I haven't seen that many of them. But on the other side, King Kong, I've seen all of the King Kong movies, and I love a majority of them. I love the original King Kong, the 2005 King Kong, Kong Skull Island. Love those. I liked the 1976 King Kong, and I liked the original King Kong versus Godzilla and King Kong Escapes. King Kong Lives is pretty bad, but and Son of Kong I liked a little bit too, even though it's kind of whatever. But King Kong is a franchise. I've seen all of those, and I love a majority of them. So that's the franchise I know more out of the two. Like, I really don't know much about Godzilla. Like I said, I'll rectify that in a future, but right now, that's where I am with these two franchises together. So, like I said, I love Kong Skull Island. I didn't really like the other two Godzillas in this franchise so far. So we come to this one, which I was really just middle of the road, like, in terms of excitement. Like, I was like, I do want to see it because it's got King Kong. I do want to see it just because it's part of a franchise. I just love watching movies, but I didn't know how I'd feel completely over this one because this one, like I said, it's half a franchise that I don't know a lot about, and I didn't really like the films of the other ones that I've seen so far. So the basic plot of this, without spoiling it, is like Godzilla attacks Kong. Kong is a threat to Godzilla, and they start fighting. And then you got the human characters: Millie Bobby Brown, the kid from Deadpool 2, Maya Rudolph, Alexander Skarsgård, and Kyle Chandler, and they're all involved in some way with helping out Kong while Kong and Godzilla fight. And like I said, the story for these movies are not anything spectacular. They're not trying to be. They're just pulpy fun. But I'll say this though: out of all the films in this franchise so far, I actually gave a shit about these characters. Like, I actually liked them. I did not give a shit in Godzilla 2014. I did not care at all about any of these characters. I thought they were so boring and interesting. As with Godzilla King of the Monsters, like, they were just so droll and just so boring. And they got great actors in all these movies, but they're just so boring in how they're written in those other movies. In this one, it's a little better because I did like that King Kong brought a bit of sympathy to the movie. It's funny because in Kong Skull Island, he is a monster and he is just killing people right and left, and it is great. But in this one, he has a little deaf girl who's part of the tribe that were on Skull Island, but then Skull Island is no more. Like, with all the tribe people, it's just this little girl left, and they form a connection. I thought that was a really cool way of giving Kong a bit of a sympathetic story to him for a character who doesn't speak. And I do love how the King Kong movies, especially the 2005 Peter Jackson one, they do a great job of making Kong a sympathetic character. And I like that in movies. I like having a little bit of sympathy for, like, the main character. I think that makes it more interesting. And again, it's a character that doesn't speak, and I love that they did that. I thought that was great. I liked that connection with them. I liked, for the most part, I liked the human characters way more than I did in the last two Godzilla ones. In Kong Skull Island, I liked them a lot more, but they were pulpy and fun. But in the Godzilla ones, they were just really boring and kind of just whatever. But in this one, I feel like it does a good job of making these characters, even though they're nothing to be right home about, they were at least a little more interesting to me. Like I did feel a little bit more investment to it. I think more because King Kong was a sympathetic character, so he kind of went around with every other character, where I just felt a little more for them because it kind of gravitated towards that for me. Um, but I did enjoy that, and I did like how this movie is the best of both worlds from both the Godzilla movies, the two of those, and Kong Skull Island. Kong Skull Island was fast paced and fun and silly, and the Godzilla movies were kind of boring but had some good visual action. And this is a good blend of both. This has a great visual set of visual action. The action's great in this movie, but it's very fast paced, and I think it's fast paced enough where it to me it doesn't ruin it because you've got to have that in between because the other Godzilla movies were boring because they were too long for me, but Kong Skull Island was quick and fun, and this one does a good job of being quick and fun with great visuals from those Godzilla movies. So I like that it got the best of both worlds. For me personally, not for everybody else, because I know some people love the Godzilla movies, the 2014 one and the 2019 one, but I just didn't. So, but that's just me. Like, if you love it, that's awesome. But like I said, it's great that they got two connecting elements to it, the visuals and the pacing. I thought that they made it way better because these movies are not like when they're so long, they're just so uninteresting to me because these characters are not very interesting. And the action is good in all these, but it's just some of them are so quick paced, or I mean, so quick to cut away from in the older Godzilla movies in this franchise, 2014. But this one does a great job of blending in both the action and the visuals and making the movie interesting and fast paced. And I usually don't love movies that are that fast paced. Like I feel like it kind of diminishes like some movies, but in this case it doesn't for this one. This is just a fun time, like Skull Island. I don't like it as much as Skull Island. I think that's the best one still out of all four. That was just so incredibly fun, so awesome. This one, like I said, it had great visuals. It was great pace. The characters were fun, or not fun. They were all right. They had a little bit more, like I was a little bit more interested with them in this one as opposed to the other ones, but it's still not as great as Skull Island. Like I still thought that was an awesome, just fun, ridiculous movie that I thought did its best being just fun and ridiculous. So I did like that. I did like how the movie just it felt like they really did take the complaints from the two other Godzilla movies and was like, we're just gonna not make this as long. We're not gonna make these characters as boring. So I like that they did that, and I like that they made this movie just for me personally just way more interesting and more fun. It's not like I didn't get bored though. Like to be honest, there were a couple moments because these movies just kind of they do have that syndrome of boring characters every once in a while, but they're way more interesting, and I'll give them more credit. They're way more interesting than they are in the other two Godzilla movies. Um, but yeah, I really did, and I did enjoy this one. I thought it was really solid and fun, and it was enjoyable. I thought the action was great. I thought the fights between Kong and Godzilla were great. I liked where it really did a lot of pulpy stuff that I know they probably have in those older movies that I haven't seen. And I won't spoil here, but like they have a lot of pulpy stuff that I'm like, wow, that's kind of cool just to see that in modern age with the effects that we've got. Because I've seen clips of those older movies, I've just never seen them all the way through. Where like, I guess I can't spoil it. But also the movie does a good job of having a lot of surprises too. There are some things in this movie where I'm like, okay, I know this is from the older movies, but I haven't seen, but I know who these people are. But it's cool to see. And it makes me kind of want to watch the older ones because maybe I might like them more than the American Godzilla movies because I feel like people will probably say those are the worst out of all of them, I'm assuming. But yeah, overall I did enjoy this one. I'm so glad that it finally came out. I did enjoy the action, the visuals, King Kong a lot. Like I said, I love his franchise, so Godzilla, there's not much to say about him. Like, visually, it's cool with the action, but, like, he just kind of goes there and wrecks shit, and Kong fights him back, and then they have a face-off. And the action and the climax is good, so it's definitely a solid time. I did enjoy Godzilla versus Kong. It had a lot of surprises that I didn't expect, and I did like it overall. So, I'm so glad I liked it way more than the other ones, besides Skull Island. Like I said, that one's still the best one for me, personally. out of the four in this monster franchise, MonsterVerse, whatever. But that's pretty much it. All I could say about Kong, Godzilla versus Kong. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.